There is no evidence of widespread voter fraud.
Hundreds of Patterson City ballots apparently found filled out and stuffed in a mail drop in an entirely different town. There's social media video of an apparent single voter casting many votes, and voter Dion Latimer angry about all of it.
If you guys are stuffing ballots, so that just means that our vote, it doesn't really count.
The governor had this message to Dion.
I would say to Dion Latimer, keep the faith. Every vote counts.
But Patterson activist Ernest Rucker says faith is not a strategy when it comes to alleged vote stealing.
The governor must step in and disqualify this election. We're being cheated out of our votes.
There is no evidence of widespread voter fraud.
What happened here? Was it ballots, mail-in ballots were being opened without members of a corresponding party watching the process? You tell me.
Sure. So what happened was the supervisor of elections in Broward County was opening vote-by-mail ballots without the authority to do so by her local canvassing board, and the law says that you have to have at least one member of the canvassing board present when you open it. In addition, what happened was they were limiting public inspections of the ballots to only 30 minutes. Now, basically what this was in layman's terms is they were opening ballots in secrecy with no oversight whatsoever. In addition, they were leaving people no time to challenge ballots if they thought that ballots could be challenged.
So they would have had, not that you want to assume the worst, but they would have had the power to do almost anything they wanted because no one was watching them.
Yeah, that's right.
There is no evidence of widespread voter fraud.
Colleen, what have you found about vote by mail in the state of Texas?
Well, what we found, we only looked in Harris County, and which is the largest county in Texas. And what we found by looking at applications for ballots by mail and the envelopes that the ballot came in, repetitive applications with the same person's handwriting on them and coming from the same precincts. Then what we did is we wanted to know if there was any way to prove something actually happened with the ballots, because all we had is the applications and the ballot envelopes. So we waited 22 months, which is under Texas law, until we could see the ballots themselves. And we could only afford to get copies of 11 precincts. But in those 11 precincts, what we found in one precinct were 30 identical ballots, where we had over 150 people on the ballot. In Harris County, we have, I think, the longest ballot in the country. And we found the same X used by 30 voters, the same check mark, and they marked every single ballot the same, which statistically, I don't even know how you would figure that out. But normally, I'm a retired teacher. When you turn in tests, nobody marks the exact same way with the exact same checks. And if you gave a test that had 150 questions, everybody in the class is not going to mark it exactly the same and get them all right. It just doesn't happen. Then what we did is we wanted to know if there was any way to follow who might have picked up large stacks of ballot by mail applications from the county clerk's office. So what we did is we did no birth request and asked for any list they had of persons who had picked up large packets of ballot by mail applications. And they did. They had a handwritten list. Anytime someone came into their office and picked up a stack of 50 or more ballot applications, then they had their name and which candidate they worked for and that kind of stuff. We did a little background check on those people, and we were shocked because out of the first 3 people who picked up large stacks of those ballot by mail applications in 2018, 2 of those had forgery convictions. So that was really unsettling. I figured, what are statistical odds of that happening? I don't know, but it was very concerning.
There is no evidence of widespread voter fraud.
I know it's dark and it's hard to see. I think my 2 ladies just walked up there with the provisional ballots, walking back into the precinct, and a bag of, the paper ballots. And I said to them, I go, what, you just can carry those around? And they said, no, the truck left them. But the truck's right here, so I'm not real sure what the hell's going on here. But I don't think it's right. The ballots are right there, like right in the middle screen, in blue bags on the ground. This is like news. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. They seriously put this stuff in people's car and then let them bring it to the truck? Like, really? Look, this lady is bringing ballots out of her car. Like, bringing ballots out of her car from apparently this building. I don't know. I'm not real sure what's going on here. Unless these are people coming from other precincts. Sir, officer, are these people coming from other precincts? Is that what's happening? So they let them transport them with one person in the car from other precincts? Apparently so, huh? That doesn't seem right, does it? I know. But you know it doesn't. So apparently Broward County allows people to drive from other precincts by themselves. There's people with just one person in the car here. And they let them just drive over with the ballot.
There is no evidence of widespread voter fraud. There is no evidence of widespread voter fraud. There is no evidence of widespread voter fraud.